question of like losing your soul to the metaverse. The big thing is, the interesting thing, anybody want to take a guess? The first recorded in history, the first recorded complaint about technology that I'm aware of, I might be wrong, I'm pretty sure it's the first. What would you think would be the first complaint about technology in the history of the world that's recorded? Anybody want to take a guess? Go ahead.
Was Socrates complaining about writing?
Yes, Socrates complained about books because he said books were making people stupider, that they didn't have as good of a memory. And he lamented the fact that books had replaced people's ability to write. This is the classic question always with technology, with each stage, with each adaptation. One of the things we call it like the Amish response. Most people, when you start to get into technology, they want the technology to freeze somewhere. So the Amish, it's like the 1860s, Some people, like the 12th century. Some people want it to be the 1960s, 2000, smartphone but not VR, desktop but not smartphone, books but not Kindle, things like that. My take, and I'm going to get into this in the book, is the idea of divine providence. So when you get at predestination and providence, this is a little deep theology. Technically, and St. Thomas Aquinas writes on this at length, St. Paul, letter to the Romans, talks about this. From all eternity, God foreknew that you would be in this room at this precise moment with this precise technology. Everything falls under God's foreknowledge and his providence. Yes, we have free will. That's a longer conversation. But all of this was foreknown by God. So if you read the book, Abandonment to Divine Providence, it gets at this idea, instead of saying, what should be, you have to focus on what is and adapt to it. That's the basic idea of abandoning yourself to divine providence. It's also a spiritual principle, because whatever circumstances you find yourself in, whatever situation you find yourself in, it is precisely what God willed for all eternity. Now, I know we have free will. We can talk about sin. There's paradoxes that are hard to reconcile, but we can at least say that God has willed this. God knew this technology would come.